right. Good morning, everyone. My name's Roki Castro. I'm going to be reading from a script, so do not critique me for using note cards. I serve on the Career Partners Board of Directors and also on the E Squared Program Management Team along with Sandy Boone, Randy Richard Lutz, Beth Lane, David Heatwall, and Patty Singleton. And of course, there's a lot. You'll hear a lot of thank yous throughout the day. Welcome to the 15th anniversary of Career Partners E Squared Finals. Teams, where are you? They're all, I guess, back in the Shark Tank. They've made it this far, so I really would like if you teams could hear me to take a deep breath and get prepared to start. Okay, excellent. So teams, take a deep breath, relax, and we'll get this party started for you in a second. Today we're going to hear presentations from 5 amazing teams. They've worked extremely hard since January to impress our venture capitalists sitting here today. I'd like to give a big thank you to Patty Singleton for making today's programs. In your program, you'll see all of our past winners, as well as a brief introduction of today's finalists. You'll also see the request regarding cell phones. So if you have not already done so, please turn off all electric devices, iPads, laptops, etc., and do not use them until all presentations have been delivered. Please refrain from talking until presentations are complete and the judges have finished their commentary in between pitches. In the interest of complete fairness, there must be no communication between members of the audience and teams that have not yet presented. So just keep in mind, teams may be disqualified for inappropriate communication. So does everyone understand this? Yes, all right, thank you. So please take note of our career sponsors and contributors that you'll see scrolling on the screen behind us in between presentations. They'll include coaches, guest presenters, and all the folks that really make this program happen. We cannot do this event without their generosity. It takes a small army along with some funding and thousands of man hours to operate this program. So we thank all of you that have been involved with E Squared. Here's a brief recap of the journey that these students have gone on. We started by randomly selecting teams and immediately headed out to Verdun Adventure Bound for team building events. There, Tom McDougall, founder of 4P Foods, kicked things off with an inspirational talk about his journey as an entrepreneur. Students then visited Path Foundation. They met with Steve Sutherland and Matt Carson, who also, 2 inspiring entrepreneurs, talked about their journey in startup world and entrepreneurism. The Path Foundation hosted us for lunch and then made available their staff who are subject matters investing in community initiatives such as healthcare, mental health, affordable housing, and senior care. You see, this semester, students were charged with introducing the concept of social entrepreneurism into their business plans. And the idea was not to only create a profitable business, but also provide good for the community at large. So thank you again to the Path Foundation for hosting us, feeding us, and making available your staff to these students. Students attended workshops on a weekly basis. They learned how to write a business plan, to find out what the heck a business plan is. They learned about marketing, finance, and the oral presentations, and then our amazing coaches. I'd like all coaches that are here today, raise your hands, stand up. Thank you. These coaches gave hundreds of hours of their time out of their daily lives and work schedules to meet with these students and really help them to get to this stage. And all the while, the students were continuing to drink from a fire hose and meeting together in person. We were seeing students out in the community at the coffee houses, meeting locations, working before, during, after school diligently, and really going the extra mile to put into these projects. Very inspiring. I wish that all of you could participate on the journey and experience E Squared firsthand. So we're joined today by 6 highly qualified judges who will have the tough job of selecting this year's winner. In order to stay on schedule, I refer you to the program which will include each of their bios. But honestly, we could spend the entire day here going through each one of them. The amount of intellectual horsepower that we have sitting on the stage ahead of us, in front of us, is amazing. So let's welcome our judges. I'm going to go from my right to left, Mr. Ed Dalrymple, Mr. Ray Knott, Mrs. Sharon Clark, Mr. Bruce Clark, no relation, Mr. Xavier Richardson, Mr. Benjamin Gregory. Thank you all for your time and being here today. So students, I wish you all the best of luck. At this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Randy Richard Lutz, Director of Career and Technical Education for CCPS, who'll give you an overview of the morning and the schedule ahead.
Thank you, Roki. Good morning. We're going to do it again. Good morning. It's the teacher in me. It is a good morning. In fact, it's a great morning. It's a pleasure to see you all here today, and I thank you for being here. I need to thank some supporters first. I'll have them all wave at the end. Dr. Brad's our superintendent, who is on our Career Partners Board. Mr. Hammond, also on our Career Partners Board. School board members that are here, other elected officials. We can't do that without them. So if you all could please stand, we would love to give you a round of applause. If Dr. Bopp and Mr. Hammond could wave. Also, our sponsors that Roki mentioned, we can't do this without them. We'll talk more about at the end that what's at stake here today is a $10,000 scholarship for every member of the winning team. Not just the team, every member of the winning team. So to say that Culpeper doesn't believe in our students, that's incorrect. Culpeper, our community is so behind our students, and we're so thankful for that. I'd also like to mention our prelim judges. We could not do it without them, and they did a fantastic job. I would be remiss if I did not speak big about Mrs. Lane, Mr. Heatwell, Mrs. Uribe, and Mrs. Glick. Our teachers that work with E Squared are simply the best. So if they could please stand and wave. Big round of applause. And then this guy, Jason Rice, who is in our IT department, we couldn't do this without Jason. And he is the keeper of all the secrets. He, along with Sandy, do the scoring. I don't know the scoring until I write the big check to bring it out. So huge thank you to Jason, because he's behind the scenes doing all of the scores as they come in. So thank you, Jason. Are there any previous winners in the audience? I see Jack, I see Bryce. Is anyone else here? Stand up, let us see you. Congrats. And lastly, the group I want to thank are our students. So we had 10 teams in the prelims, and you will see 5 here today. The 5 that you won't see are here to support their teammates, and I want to commend you on that, because it is not easy the day of prelims. It stings when your team's name doesn't appear on that website. I totally get it. So we are very proud of all 10 of our teams, and I would like to ask the teams that were in the prelims to please stand, the 5. To all the students competing today, you have heard me tell you 24 times or more how proud I am of you, and I'm going to keep saying it. We are so proud of you. What you do in one semester, some college programs do over years. We teach you with a fire hose, and then you run with it, and we are so proud of you. Please give them a round of applause. This is how it will work. Students may set up, and then I will announce each team, and they'll come in. They have 15 minutes to do their presentation for us, and I give them a 2-minute warning if needed. Then our judges ask them 10 minutes worth of questions. They'll get a 1-minute warning for that. I want you to keep in mind, this is really important, 60% of their score is already done in his computer. 60% they do ahead of time, and that's based solely on the written plan. And then 40% is from their presentation today. Once we do the drawing, all students will leave except for the first team, and once each team has gone, they may sit and watch the other teams go. Before we draw the order, which is highly anticipated, I'm going to remind you again to please turn off your cell phones, or at least get the ringers off for us. Again, it's great to see all these smiling faces this morning. All right, Jason, I'm going to let you do it. Any complaining? Talk to Jason. All right, the first team going at 8:30 is RASR, Razor, with an A, with a, what do y'all call it? A line over the A. They're number one, going at 8:30. If we get ahead of schedule, we stay on schedule because parents will come later or they will be watching online. Going at 9:05 is Summit Rentals. Our team at 9:40 is Little Less Meshy. Going at 10:15 is Narcase Saves. And our last team at 10:50, LuxFind. All right. I'm going to ask the teams that go 2nd through 5 leave, and as soon as 8:30 hits, we'll roll. Mr. Kralchuk? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Razor Robotics.
Good morning. Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You guys know the drill. 15 minutes, I'll give you a 1-minute warning, and you may begin when ready.
Hello, we are Razor Robotics, the future of search and rescue. Razor Robotics stands for Robot Assisted Search and Rescue. My name is Michael Curtis. I'm the CEO.
I'm Elijah Harrington, the CFO.
I'm Maylee Regan, the CMO.
I'm Molly Barnhurst, the CDO. I'm Madison Smoot, the COO.
Our company was founded on 3 simple goals that we consider to be our mission. Number 1 is providing assistance to search and rescue teams. Number 2 is attaining and maintaining profitability. And number 3, what we consider the most important one, is saving lives. In total, around the globe, 171,000 individuals die from natural disasters and man-made disasters. A large portion of this is made up from the fact that search and rescue teams are not able to find individuals that are trapped under rubble or building debris, and they don't have the effort or time to search fast enough and to give these people the assistance they need in time. We want to help these search and rescue teams by making a more faster and efficient way of search. Introducing the Legion Bot.
Okay, so the Legion Bot, or the LBot for short, was initially from the idea of a cockroach.
And when you think about these bugs, you think, ew, right? And their reputation for being really hard to kill. They get into cracks and crevices, areas we'd rather them not get into. So overall, they lack any real positive characteristics. But it got our team thinking, what if we could somehow turn them into positive characteristics or life-saving characteristics? Now, obviously, we can't strap cameras to their backs and expect them to report back to us, so we had to come up with our own means. This is where our robots came in. So our robots are 2 inches wide by 3 inches long. They are made up of a lightweight steel endoskeleton and a carbon fiber shell. Instead of selling our robots individually, we will be selling them in packs of 15, which we've titled a Legion. So included with the robots comes a charging case, an operating tablet, and a Wi-Fi router. So how does our robots work? All the technology for our robots already exists. We're not coming up with any new technology. It was just a matter of compiling it into something that was useful for our purposes. So the robots are completely autonomous. All the operator has to do is set a specific radius on the tablet, and the tablet will communicate with each robot which section they will cover. The robots are equipped with a microwave radar and an infrared camera, and this is what is actually used to detect life. So the robots will go down, and a live infrared video feed will be sent back to the tablet, and this is where the operator can view if a person has been found. If they decide to hone in on a specific L-bot, especially if a person is found, this is what they will see. So a bright red light will flash above whichever L-bot has found a person. So the robots connect to each other and to the tablet using the Wi-Fi router that is included. And if they lose connection at any time because they're too far away or some other issue, they will continue to map while offline. And if a person is found, they will immediately return back to their operator, and they'll deliver the location. The robots have another really important feature, and that is that they can withstand up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit and 54 yards underwater. This would have been very useful in the Alabama and Missouri tornado, because after just 15 minutes of search, the operations had to come to a halt because of the rain.
Guardian Centers is a training and scenario site in North Carolina where we will be testing and perfecting our products. We will also be filming videos here that we can use for our marketing effort.
Okay, so when we think about the robotics industry, it's likely that you think of companies like NASA or Boston Dynamics. So why haven't they done this? The answer is simple. It's not their job. They don't focus on search and rescue like we do. In fact, if you think about it, there's no company that does. I imagine it would be very hard for one of these big labels to invest so much time and money and effort when it's just not their priority. This doesn't mean, however, that it's impossible. In 2001, NASA came up with a spider-like robot, which you can see up here, and it utilized a lot of the same technology as ours does. The only difference was it was used for space exploration, because this is what NASA does. We are very excited to be one of the first search and rescue-oriented robotics companies out there.
So our first competitor is the Squishy Bot. The Squishy Bot is wireless and waterproof, but it's also stationary and doesn't have the ability to detect life. And then our second competitor is the NASA's RoboSimian. The RoboSimian is the size of a small horse, so it really has no benefits more than the basic first responder, except for the fact that it's robotic. And our last competitor is the SnakeBot. The SnakeBot is the most similar to our product out of all of our competitors, but it is 3 feet long, and it always has to be connected to power, and it also has to be controlled by humans at all time, when our robot is autonomous, small, wireless, and waterproof.
When it comes to distribution, our manufacturer, Nortec, in the United States will do most of the heavy lifting. We applied for a non-provisional utility patent as well as applying for a surety bond. With the surety bond, we can draw the investors and the buyers in. Aegis General Insurance Agency is our preferred insurer because they are highly recommended for the robotics field. When it comes to the search and rescue industry, there are little to no regulations, although if any do come up, it will be our first priority to adjust as needed.
Our first potential customer is Virginia Task Force 1 and FEMA, because they both have large search and rescue outreach programs. And then our second potential customer is the Department of Defense, because they can get us in touch with the federal government. And our final goal is to save lives across the globe. Our marketing plan is through Bear International, and they will do all the heavy lifting, and the estimated price is $116,000.
All right, so let's talk about the fun part, money. We are asking for $950,000 for a 20% share in our company, and you will make your money back by the beginning of the 4th year. So in our first year, we estimated 23 sales units, and we got that number from the estimated market share of 0.005%. of an $80 billion market. We sell those units for $170 each, and that gives us $4.4 million in sales total. Due to the robotics industry just having crazy high expenses, we lose $2.9 million right off the start. And after taxes, we're left with $944,000.
Not only will we be saving lives, but we will also be offering opportunities that lead to new ones. We will be donating 15% of our proceeds yearly to disaster relief efforts, as well as giving away 5 $10,000 scholarships to those who are interested in STEM majors.
So for our 5-year plan, in our first and second year, we're spreading out through local states like Virginia Task Force 1 and nearby states and organizations. In year 3 and 4, we're spreading out to federal governments like the DoD and other useful departments that could use it. And in the 5th year, we plan to sell to NATO allied nation states to help save lives all over the world.
Just under 2 weeks ago, a garage building collapsed in New York. Mayor Adams shared on television that the robotic dogs were able to enter the unstable building. Imagine not only the trapped individuals' lives we could save, but also the first responders we could protect.
Thank you so much for your time. This concludes our presentation. Again, we are R.
A.
S.
R, with the line over the A.
Robotics.
Questions?
Thank you. We'll start our 10 minutes worth of questions.
Good morning. Congratulations to you all for getting to this point in the competition. I thought you did a great job here today presenting your idea. My first question is going to focus on your marketing budget. So you estimated $116,000 for a marketing budget. You have a pretty global scale product, looking at some pretty large organizations. How do you envision those dollars being spent?
I can take this one. So the $116,000 was for our yearly estimated. It's not for the whole 5-year plan. And we want to really tackle spreading out to as many organizations as we can. And we plan to do that not by just going out in person, but going to expos, and that costs, we've given a price estimate of about $10,000 per trip. So if we do a couple of those a year, and then the marketing effort at Guardian Centers, that's at least $12,000 for 2 days, and we'll need at least 4 days. That's where our marketing budget is coming into play.
Great, thank you.
Congratulations on the job. Well done. It's a very fascinating project, and I appreciate the presentation and the investment of time and effort that's gone into this. When you looked at your competition, and you did a great job of comparing some of the companies, did you compare yourselves with any international or foreign companies? I know that you're thinking part of your assumptions is that you're going to be growing globally, but did you look at any of foreign competition or look at?
I looked at a couple of them. The ones that we had up there were either they were very similar to a lot of the international ones that there are out there. I mean, we couldn't list every competitor, but we tried to find ones that had like duplicates, I guess. So NASA, she mentioned earlier that during the garage collapse, Boston Dynamics sent their dogs out, and then, we're very different from them because we're so small, And so when we're looking at the international, it's like I said, like just duplicates of what has already been created. So yeah, we did look at them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll join the other judges in congratulating you on a remarkably good presentation. Talking about your first year and your first year's budget, what type of lead time do you think you're going to need in manufacturing to be able to actually have the product ready to ship?
So in our startup year, it's got to be a full year just because of research and development. That takes time, that takes money, takes a lot of money. So we estimate that manufacturing-wise, it won't take that long. Nortec is a very reliable manufacturer. They've manufactured things for the military, NASA. They've done lots of good work. And our suppliers, I've emailed personally all of them, and they say they can ship them out pretty much as soon as we need them.
First of all, I want to say you all look fabulous. You're already starting on your marketing adventure, so walking down the halls of this school and other places, you already are advertising for yourself. I appreciate the common outfits or uniforms that you're wearing. That means a lot as somebody that, likes the marketing. But I wanted to ask a little bit about customer service. So when we send these out to save lives and 2 of them are lost forever, is there a person within your group that's going to take care of those calls and replace the Legion is the whole thing, right?
Yes.
So each one is called a
L-bot.
L-bot.
Or Legion.
They need 4 L-bots replaced. Is there something in play for that?
Yes. So we do sell individuals.
Mhm.
So if you want to just expand your Legion, maybe by 1 or 2, or if you need to buy replacements, you can. Also, if there is anything on the, if there's an error on our part, like it's programmed incorrectly, it just doesn't work right off the bat, you can easily call up Nortec or you can call us and we can easily send you out a free replacement.
Thank you.
Again, got a great job on your presentation and on your business plan. As a numbers guy, I really sort of honed in on your startup budget and your ongoing annual budget. I noticed in your startup you had $400,000 towards R&D, but you did not allocate any dollars in your recurring annual budget for continuing R&D, especially with a technology-based product. Tell me about your plans to keep up with emerging technologies, especially when you're looking at communications and that and link the life of the battery life of the unit.
Would you like to? So we haven't allocated that. We just initially thought that in the beginning we would do as much as possible. That doesn't mean we're not going to expand upon our designs and our ideas, but for the first 5 years we plan to just keep it simple. We didn't want to broaden our wings for too much where we can't group them back in and maintain control. We wanted to keep it simple, keep the design simple, and if there were problems, we would hop on that as soon as possible.
But also in the business plan, it states that as technology advances, we will continue to research and develop. But again, like you said, in the beginning, we haven't allocated the money yet because we just don't know quite yet how far we'll get, And so, but as it advances and if we can expand, we will definitely focus on that for sure.
Thank you.
I would also feel pretty bad if it was like an Apple situation where we're making these companies buy $170,000 units every year just because we added some new feature.
Did a very nice job of putting the presentation together, and what you presented to us this morning is very good. I was wondering, when you have a disaster, everything's out, lights, power, everything, the internet. How does your system work when the internet's out?
Okay, so that's what the Wi-Fi router is. So it comes with the Legion, and so it's a very low frequency. I said,
It's a 2.4 frequency.
yeah. So it connects to each other, and it uses a Starlink-like connection. So it connects to satellite. So if cell towers are down or there's issues with that, it won't matter.
But Starlink is what you would use to, okay.
Yeah, basically,
Very
yep.
good.
We have 3 minutes, so we can ask a couple more.
Okay. I think y'all covered most of my questions, so I'm going to pass it to Sharon.
When I was looking at the business plan, I noticed a huge amount of money for miscellaneous and charitable funds. So can you elaborate on that large figure for me?
Yes, I believe it should be titled differently in the business plan. If it didn't get changed in time, that would be my bad. It's just supposed to be charitable donations, so it's not supposed to have miscellaneous. That's our 15%, and the $10,000 scholarships are included in that 15%.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, that's my bad, sorry.
I was very happy this morning when I was told we'd be using pencil and paper instead of Chromebooks to score. Being a Luddite, I have to imagine that a system this sophisticated is something that's going to take training, that this is not, and maybe I'm wrong. Could you speak a little bit about how do people, when you market these products, does the marketing come with training, or how do you make sure people can effectively use your product?
So we've thought about that. That's a really good question. I appreciate it. But it's something that really needs consideration. And And so far, what I've got for you is you don't need that much training because they're autonomous. But when you do, or you should, or when the chance comes up that you do need to take control of it, it would operate very similarly to a remote-controlled car.
Right.
So you'd have a tablet, you'd be able to pinpoint certain locations or pinpoint a radius of where you want that robot to search continuously until there's life found there. And it'll do so until it finds life.
One of the things we've learned through this pandemic is the impact of factors that affect the supply chain. What would happen if your supplier goes out of business, or there's some component for which there's a shortage? Have you given any consideration to how you would respond to that?
1 minute.
So we would buy in materials in bulk just so that we have some extras on hand if something does go down. If something does go down, of course, like a manufacturer loses their business, we would instantly just go onto the market, see if we can find another company that provides the same quality and the same amount that we're looking for.
Also, really quickly, I think we mentioned this in the business plan, but we haven't said it here. But we have several in stock at our warehouse just in case of an emergency. Also, like, if someone calls us and they're like, hey, one of our L-bots broke down or one of our Legions broke down, we have a few on hand that we can ship out. So if it's like immediate need, we have a few.
That'll be time. Thank you, Razor Robotics. Please give them a hand. Thank you again, Razor Robotics. Well, our next team will go at 9:05, and it is Summit Rentals, 9:05. Please welcome Summit Rentals. Summit Rentals, you know the drill. You have 15 minutes with a 2-minute warning and then 10 minutes of questions to follow, and you may begin when ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack Fleming, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of Summit Rentals, and this is our As previously mentioned, I'm Jack Fleming, the Chief Executive Officer of Summit Rentals, and I would like to take a quick moment to introduce to you guys our executive team. First, we have Morgan Butler, our Chief Financial Officer. Next, we have our Chief Marketing Officer, Liam Smoot. And rounding out our team, we have Philip Mickle, our Chief Operating Officer. Summit Rentals is going to solve a major need in Culpeper County. Culpeper County has fields, workforce, has areas that have extremely high turnover rates. Culpeper County Public Schools specifically experiences a 20% year-in, year-out turnover rate. This equates to roughly 95 new teachers needing to be hired each year. Summit Rentals seeks to solve this problem by providing workforce housing for teachers and young professionals within Culpeper County. We firmly believe that by creating a community of like-minded individuals and a sense of security, we can retain this key demographic solving a vital issue in Culpeper County. Summit Rentals is seeking a $2 million investment in exchange for a 49% equity stake in our company. Now here is Phil to tell you more about our development, The Professions at Culpeper.
Thank you, Jack. The Professions of Culpeper will be located on Orange Road, conveniently situated within 15 minutes of all Culpeper County public schools. Our beautiful complex will provide unique outdoor recreational activities for our tenants, such as walking trails, barbecue areas, and community gardens. We'll be also hosting community-wide events to help foster a closer, tight-knit community. Our units will include high-end finishes, such as stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, and luxury vinyl plank flooring. We will also have an on-call maintenance worker, and our executive team will be available 24/7. Based on surveys that we have conducted, we have come up with layouts for each and every single one of our units as displayed here on the board. Now, here's Liam to talk about our marketing strategies.
Our partnership with Culpeper County Public Schools Human Resources Department will allow us to directly connect with potential tenants. We look forward
We will utilize social media to make posts to connect with our tenants. Here are some mock posts of some of the activities we have going on and different things we have for our tenants. Now here's Morgan to talk more about our financials.
Our target market will be 18 to 33-year-olds. This age range is the most in need but not exclusive to our development. There are currently 5,205 rentals in Culpeper. By building an additional 60 units, we will be able to capture 1.15% of the market. As you can see, our competitors are outdated and dingy, while also lacking personal privacy options such as individual bathrooms. Some of those competitors include Mountain View, Spark, and Southridge. Now here's a video from our target market.
So some of the more important things to look out for when renting is the commute to your job, the pricing of what you can afford, and also how updated the apartment is along with their appliances.
I would say the three most important things that I consider when it comes to housing are affordability and whether it is at or below market rate, community, and if I'm going to be close to my neighbors and if I'm going to have some sense of connection to the place I'm living. And then the third would be space. Apartments are great, but it is nice to have a little bit more area to spread out and feel like you're not living in a dorm room.
So I think the three most important things are location, the pricing, and the amenities that are included.
For housing, I would say affordability, location, and then the quality of the rental property.
And one thing I think is super important as a young person looking for housing in the area is availability and pricing. Those are my two main things.
Three most important things that I look out for when looking for a house are location, price, and commute.
You all just heard the first-hand stories and accounts of the various different teachers and young professionals who have struggled to begin their career in Culpeper County due to the lack of adequate workforce housing. Everyone agrees that there is a substantial need for workforce housing in Culpeper. Our executive team has heard this complaint from the Culpeper County Board of Supervisors. We have heard this complaint from the county administrator. We have heard this complaint from the Culpeper Town Council. We have even heard this complaint from the Director of Human Resources for Culpeper County Public Schools, the largest employer in Culpeper County. But most importantly, we have heard this complaint from the teachers and young professionals who truly want to make Culpeper their forever home. We have just displayed to you that we will offer the highest quality rentals and amenities. And at the same time, we will make it affordable, available, and desirable. Throughout our journey and consulting with various different teachers and young professionals, we have heard them refer to Spark Culpeper as the freshman dorms. Summit Rentals will not be the freshman dorms 2.0, because at Summit Rentals, we rise to the top. Rising to the top is not just a catchy tagline to us. This phrase permeates everything we do. In line with this, Summit Rentals will be the senior penthouses, where all experienced and inexperienced professionals alike will call home. Together, with your help and your investment, we can finally tell these eager Culpeper County public servants, welcome home. Thank you, and at this time, we're open to any questions you may have.
Good morning and congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that works.
Good morning and congratulations to you all for getting to this point. You did a great presentation today, and thank you. My first question is reflecting back on your business plan.
Mhm.
And as I was reading that, I felt had some inconsistencies in your target population. It was clear that teachers of Culpeper were the primary target group, but you also listed other young professionals in your company overview. And then he specified further in the mission statement that the target cohort are teachers and other Culpeper County school employees. So is this a targeted housing program, or is it intended to target a diverse group of individuals?
So primarily, our target market is teachers and young professionals, because they're the people that would benefit the most out of anybody from this type of development. And then also, we also want to target fields that have high turnover rates additionally. And our target market, we're not limiting it to that, and we also want to expand it to other potential avenues that we can get more customers, because we want more paying customers in the end.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, and like the social need that you're addressing too, relative to housing. One of the things that I was surprised to find when you had initially mentioned that over 53% of the people prefer to live alone, but the housing that the apartments, half of them were 3 bedrooms and some were 2 bedrooms as well. Is there any particular reason for that?
So with the current economic state, it's very hard for people to live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment, because you have to cover all the expenses. But what we wanted to do with developing our layouts, we wanted to still create that sense of living alone. So that's why we included everyone having their own bedroom and their own bathroom. But we're also trying to make it affordable, so we can give people the opportunity to basically live alone, even though they'll have tenants sharing shared spaces. This is something that our target market is very familiar with, because many of them attend colleges and universities, and they very similar living condition. So we would have liked to have more single, but reflecting upon the actual market and what people are actually paying for and are able to afford in Culpeper County, that's why we made primarily most of our units from 2 to 3 bedrooms.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I'll start off by letting you know I'm a land guy. And when I was reading through your proposal the other day, and you started talking about a site, I thought something came in my mind, and then I turned the page, and there was a picture of the property I was thinking about. So you're not the only ones that have targeted that and understand the importance of that tract of land, and I commend you for finding it.
Thank you.
I have one question, and well, I have several questions, but the one thing I saw in your business plan that confused me a little bit, and I'll confess I'm a Luddite, and I'm not a big one into social media. But in your business plan, one of the things you said you would do is to advertise using social media. If you're truly trying to target the local community and you're trying to target a specific group, why would you do something that spreads the news so far? Why wouldn't you spend more time focusing just on this community, using the type of media that would be focused to Culpeper?
We do plan on using social medias, but most of our advertisement is going to come from the Human Resources Department, as they will send new hires and young professionals our way that come by that are looking for housing. So most of our advertisement will be through the Human Resources Department, but we also plan on spreading out some through social media, such as like Facebook, Instagram, which will mostly just be us resharing posts of our tenants and promoting certain things.
Thank you.
I have several questions as well, but we don't have enough time for several questions. I want to say that you guys look so professional, and the sparkle in the tie and those shoes are just, I'm just loving it. So you guys are looking awesome. I'm into details, and I see the details. Very professional. I also appreciate the way you work as a team. So I have been in front of audiences before and have, needed a drink of water or fumbled, and I love the way that you all recovered from just a little hiccup, because it happens to every single person in this room and far in between. So I appreciate the way that you all have each other's back. That's very important in a business. I did notice that there was not a location. Here's my question. Sorry. I did notice that you all did not have a location for a staff person within your business plan. So to me, you would have to have somebody there with the computer to go to. I did notice the maintenance person, which was part-time, which I wonder about as well. Maybe it's because it's only 60 units. I don't want to answer my own question. But is there going to be somebody on staff at the location all the time? I mean, during business hours.
So what we plan on doing is having our executive team be those staff members to answer questions, mainly as my job in the section of the business plan where it talks about our day-to-day activities. That would be mainly my job, is to help the tenants out with questions they have, and not on staff. Like during business hours, yes, we'll be there. That's the main goal, is to have us there and be available all the time for our tenants.
Thank you.
It's also, I just want to add one thing. It's also important to note that with a business like this, we don't have traditional operating hours, because when our traditional operating hours occur, all of our tenants are typically out working. So it's hard to have an office because the hours are so variable to hire an employee. Someone would have to work night shifts and stuff like that. So we will all be available via call, email, as he said, 24/7 to answer any questions, because we want to make our tenants' experience at Summit Rentals the best experience they've ever had.
Again, echoing the fellow judges, good job on your business plan and on your presentation. I also too have to admit, as a suit and tie guy, I kind of like to tire, so good job. I have a lot of questions, but I think my main thing I wanted to do here was to make give you some feedback in regards to your business plan, because I think there was two areas in the numbers, and as others have already heard, I'm a numbers guy, that I really felt like you sort of missed in your plan. Okay. Those two areas are primarily with, first of all, in your startup cost projections, you missed the property carrying cost during development stage. The real estate taxes, your insurance costs for both property and liability, and your interest carry during that time for your financing that you would have during the development stage. And also, too, in your projections, you sort of missed on the real estate taxes that you would pay annually. It's about $65,000 between county and town. So those are two areas that you may want to revise your plan to button up. I really commend you for taking on this type of project. Workforce housing and affordable workforce housing is a definite need in the community. And being able to do that and to present one that has a profit that would make it an investable project is even a greater challenge. So I really appreciate you taking on. I think you did a great job, but those are some areas that you probably want to go back and tweak your plan.
Yeah. The tax portion with the current financial workbook, because obviously this is something that's different. It's different than anything that's ever been done in U Squared. Right. It doesn't really have an area to account for that. And your other points, I think those are valid points. And I think one thing why we wanted to work Council and Board of Supervisors is because there are certain instances where those people will sponsor programs and they will sometimes waive those entitlement costs. So hopefully we could potentially work something out with that in the future.
Okay. Being on this end, I don't care how you're dressed. In your fifth year, you've actually the repairs and maintenance, you maintained the same price that you had the year before, and you decreased your groundskeeping and waste removal. I really think as you go to the further out, you're going to have more of those costs involved. What was your thinking on decreasing?
1 minute.
We'll have more money in contingencies because we will have several years of profitability. So we will have more money to pull from, because it's hard to project 5 years into the future what might break, what might not break. So we think keeping it a consistent number, even though another year of depreciation might affect that, but we'll have more capital to pull from in the future from our contingencies and rollover reserves.
Okay.
Last question.
Going back to your marketing plan, I know you had referenced in your plan different ways of avenues working with the county and the like, but you also talked about working with a realtor to try to help market the property. Tell me about how you're looking at incorporating that realtor into the property marketing within both with the county as well.
So with the specific realtors have access to the multiple listing service, and we'll be able to work with them to post digital ads of our rentals like most other rental companies do. So that's kind of how we would work, so we could stay in line with other companies, and that's how we would partner with them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Summit Rentals. Our next team is Little Less Meshy, and we will wait till 9:40. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Little Less Meshy. It's coming. There it is. Good morning.
Good morning.
You have 15 minutes with a 1-minute warning and 10-minute or 2-minute warning and 10 minutes of questions. Good luck, and you may begin when you're ready.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. We are a Little Less Meshy, a helping hand for an everyday chore. This is our team. My name is Bella Groves, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer, making sure our company reaches its primary goals and objectives.
I am Juliana Groves, the Chief Operating Officer. I oversee the development of our product and the design of our website.
And I'm Law Derby. I'm our Chief Financial Officer, and I'm in charge of the numbers behind the magic. We are here today seeking an investment of $215,000 for a 15% stake in our company. This investment will be used to cover startup costs to allow us to continue focus on research and development while preparing for further operations.
Have you all ever heard of the myth that your washing machine eats your socks? Or have you ever sat down after a long workday folding your clothes, wondering where that pair of socks or that article of clothing went? Or do you just loathe the chore of doing laundry, having to reach or extend to obtain your clothing? Well, we have the answer to your problem, and our solution is the Laundry Helper.
Here we have a 3D digital image of our product. Our product was designed for top-loading washers without an agitator. As you can see, we have included an extra lining of fabric with grommets attached to it. This will allow the hooks to attach to the drum of the washer and our bag. We also have included a suggested fill line to ensure that the weight is manageable for everyone and that your clothes are washed just as efficiently. At the top of the bag, we have included a drawstring to eliminate the need to reach or extend into the washer. Our removable hooks are intended to stay in place. Now for the demonstration, I will be using Law and Bella to represent your washer. They will first start by attaching the hooks to the holes of the drum of the washer. They will then proceed to attach the hooks to our mesh bag. Then you may fill your clothing up to our suggested fill line. And then you may move forward with your cycle. After your cycle, you may use the drawstring to cinch the bag to retrieve your clothing.
Our mission is to simplify the chore of doing laundry. Laundry is a chore that everyone has to do, but not all washers are made for all in mind. We've received a letter of support from Ryan Lane, who owns Lane Services, who you all may have heard of before. And he says that clothes get stuck in the pump all the time, especially baby clothes, baby socks. He also has several elderly customers that have to use a stool in order to reach or extend to obtain their clothing. Therefore, our product would be extremely beneficial for these individuals. Our target market includes everyone, but specifically the aging population, those who are pregnant, and those with mobility issues. We recently visited the Arbors of Culpeper, where we met with our focus group. We actually have a guest with us here today in the audience. They said they would use our product for various reasons. We also spoke to Jim Mullen, a teacher at Culpeper County High School who recently had a baby, and she said that our product has helped immensely. She still continues to use our product postpartum. This is how we plan on giving back to our community. We will be giving 1% of our profit to Heroes Bridge, which is a nonprofit organization for veterans ages 65 and older. They offer innovative programs and a better quality of life. We will also be committing 10 hours of weekly community service to Loads of Love, which operates at a Sycamore Park Elementary School. They offer washing clothes for individuals who cannot afford it.
We will be using Bayer International, a marketing firm, to manage our content, engagement with others, and influencers, while we will also be using Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We will also be using traditional advertisement as seen in these mock-ups.
Our competition consists of the best laundry bags in the market, as reported by USA Today's article, The Top Laundry Bags of 2023. As you can see here, we have not included any of the names for any of the top competition. This is due to the fact that there is little to no brand recognition within the field. We strive to be the first through a combination of our marketing and innovative technology.
Our suppliers abroad will ship to our manufacturer and distributor located in New Jersey, making us proudly made in the USA. Our manufacturer and distributor located in New Jersey will then begin to package and assemble our product and ship to our top vendors such as Walmart and Target. A portion of our inventory will be shipped to our warehouse, which is our virtual storefront.
We will then ship our product to the specific housing using the UPS SMART program.
Here's our website. The website consists of a page for customers to purchase our product. There will also be a page for customers to leave reviews. Hours of operation are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Our market consists of 60% of U.S. households, or roughly 76 million households. Our market share consists of 0.5% of our market size, or 370,000 units. Our first-year sales are based on 13% of our market share, totaling 46,000 units. Here you'll see the difference in pricing across our different distribution methods. For direct-to-customer, customers will be able to purchase our product through our website and have it shipped directly to their homes. The second price is based on the price to go through retailers. Due to the common upcharging found in retailers, we have lowered the price in order to avoid any competition between retailers and our website. As you can see in our logo, it features a front-loading washer machine. This is representative of our future. In year 3, we expect to develop a version of our product that functions with front-loading washing machines. And in year 5, we expect to have a version that functions with agitators. For your investment of $215,000 for a 15% stake in our company, there will be 100% return on investment by year 3 and over 200% return on investment by year 5.
Now, if you wouldn't mind tuning your attention to the right screen.
Good job. Keep it coming.
Our product will be beneficial for people of all demographics.
Right,
we aim to be
there?
inclusive for all ages and all abilities.
Thank you. Oh, good job. Anything else? Oh, It's okay. You
As you
right?
can see here, we all struggle sometimes,
Few more
even with the
things.
little things.
Socks.
Thank you for listening, and now we'll take any questions or comments.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Oops, sorry. Thank you.
Good morning and congratulations to you all for reaching this point in the competition, and excellent job on your presentation. The first question that I had, you kind of answered it to some degree, but I am curious, in your business plan, you had a pretty specific target market that you were going to gear your product towards. I'm curious what your rationale is for limiting your potential, even in the first year, to such a specific target market.
We believe that we can reach a further target market, but we strive to be realistic and reasonable in our numbers. And seeing as we are a very new, small company, we do not believe we have the outreach to have such an extended reach at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you for a great presentation and for the video. I now have a new job for my grandchildren when they come to visit. One of the concerns I had as I looked at it, you can see I'm a big guy, and I looked at the bag and I looked at the line. And I probably could only get one shirt in there at a time, or a couple of shirts at a time. Not the typical size load that I would have. Have you thought about what the cost might be to the user if they have to, for me it would probably take 10 loads to get what is a traditional load, because I'm limited by the amount, by that recommended line of how many items I can put in, and what the impact is on the environment too, with having those additional washes.
That is something we will definitely look into, as our fill line is actually suggested, so your clothes will be washed just as efficiently. It's just to ensure that the weight is manageable for everyone. Thank you.
My colleague just admitted that all men overstuff washing machines. I enjoyed your presentation very much. Your timing is spectacular. My washing machine broke 2 weeks ago, and when I was reading your plan, you talked about, and this morning you spoke about reaching into the washing machine. My new machine is so deep, it's almost like having to climb into a cave
Exactly.
to get to the back of it. And when I read that, I went and cursed my new machine. One of the things you did say, and I think it is very interesting and important, is that, and you said you did not name your competitors because they're kind of amorphous. How in your advertising are you going to truly make yourself stand out so that you become the Kleenex of mesh bags?
We plan to use Bear International Marketing Firm, and they will help us achieve this through the use of marketing influencers. We have actually had some testimonials from coaches and such saying that if our product were marketed using influencers, they would have already seen it by now. They most likely would have bought it because they are constantly getting advertisements and suggestions through influencers.
Thank you.
A great presentation. I love the way you all projected and really spoke up.
Thank you.
One of the things I was wondering about is I found it interesting that you all are going to have the opportunity to place your product in Walmart and Target. What are the obstacles or the challenges you have to get that into such a huge retailer?
We will be using trade shows to market our product, so it would be easier to reach Walmart and Target and other places. Thank you.
Great job. And as I keep telling everybody, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm going to talk about something not for numbers on y'all's particular case. I was curious on the clips that you're going to use to connect to the drum.
Yes.
Really was curious on the functionality, how they would stay in the drum during a full wash cycle, especially the spin cycle, and not become dislodged, potentially falling down and damaging the wash machine. So how would you secure those in so that wouldn't happen?
So when the hooks are placed into the holes of the drum of the washer, they will be secured just enough so that the sizing is perfect, so it goes up and it goes in So they will be secure throughout the whole entire wash.
Now, is that with an additional piece that would slide on, or how is that, just through the hooking
No,
mechanism
sir,
itself?
through the hook.
Okay, thank you.
We also have our prototype in several homes, and the users have loved it, and it's worked.
Washing machines, way out of my league. You talk about parts out of China. And when you talk about that, then you talked about American product. Are you bringing parts into this country and putting them together, and that becomes an American product?
Yes, sir.
And so what about the supply chain issue of getting the products from here to from China to us?
So we have thought about this and discussed this as a group. If we forecast any supply chain changes or issues, we have recognized that our product, as it is non-perishable and very easy to store, would be quite easily stockpiled. So if we forecast any issues with supply chains, we will stockpile while looking for different suppliers.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
My sort of next question is going back to your marketing plan. I know you've got your defined demographic, which I think works well for what you're proposing. But you talked a lot about using Bear National, but them going through social media platforms with influencers and the like. I see that. How would you try to get them to reach the senior community that may not be as avid users of social media platforms?
So we will also be using traditional advertisement as shown in our presentation. Thank you.
When I was thinking, I have a front load and I do struggle to get into the back of it. When you all are thinking about future, plans and stuff, do you anticipate it being a similar type of, hook? And when you do, on the packaging, the end packaging that you do, how will you, project that on the packaging that's going to be in Walmart and Target? Because you'll start with one, but then will you have, seeing into the future, will you have, this one says top load, and then this is a different color or something that's, in big bold letters? I'm just wondering, because I didn't see anything about the packaging portion of your product.
That is definitely something we will think about. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Have you given any thought to trying to reach out to manufacturers of washing machines to include your product along with the machine?
We certainly have. We have discussed as a group, and we are looking into it as we are moving along. Thank you.
I think it's a neat concept, but also I'm concerned about the barriers to entry. It doesn't seem into this producing a similar thing. So it seems like it would be easy for someone else to mimic this and create a similar product. The low barriers to entering this particular industry to do this, how can you guarantee the sales that you project if it's so easy to replicate this?
We currently are patent pending, and we hope that our patent will be able to help protect our idea in the field.
Thank you.
First, just a comment on your business plan. So in your plan, you identified several challenges that your product may or may not face in the marketplace, and I really appreciated that you went further and sort of provided solutions on how you might address those barriers. I thought that was very good. I am a little bit curious around the price point. From a retail markup standpoint, you've got quite a broad range of potential big box stores, that you might want to sell or pitch to. At what point do you become concerned that your price point might be price prohibitive to consumers?
You have 1 minute.
Thank you for your feedback. We will definitely look into that as we fix our numbers. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Little Less Meshy. We'll be back at 10:15 with Narcase Saves. 10:15, Narcase Saves. Ladies and gentlemen, Narcase saves. As you know, you have 15 minutes with a 2-minute warning, followed by 10 minutes of questions, and you may begin when you're ready.
We are a group of students concerned with the opioid overdoses going on around us. Even in our hometown at a local high school, there was a student who experienced an overdose, and it took 6 people to interact with this student until the 7th person administered Narcan. In overdoses, every minute matters. That's why you need to carry Narcan on you at all times. Now Courtney is going to talk about Los Angeles.
In this article, Los Angeles is allowing their students to carry Narcan at schools already. We are aiming to do the same.
Where is it? Deputies in Alabama raced to save a 1-year-old who allegedly was overdosing on fentanyl.
Back up. How long has she been down? How long has she been down? Okay, everybody back up.
Body cam video shows the response. When a Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy finds the little girl sprawled out on the floor, he tries to look for a pulse. Then he administers Narcan, a nasal spray to revive people overdosing on opioids.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It worked to wake the child up, but she was then rushed to the hospital where authorities say she was stabilized. The sheriff says the girl's mother was arrested and charged with chemical endangerment exposure to a child. Meanwhile, this deputy is being praised for saving a young life.
Okay, she's breathing. There you go. There you go. Open your eyes for me. Can you do that?
This video never gets easier to watch. As you can see from the video, those who suffer from drug abuse affect the people around them. But let me make this clear. Drug abuse is an illness. It is a brain-altering illness. People do not wake up one day and decide to become addicted to drugs. It is a serious illness. Now Alexa is going to cover more on this video.
As you can see, the parents are panicking because their child is unconscious and overdosing on the floor, and they can't do anything about it. That's because currently there's no easy way to carry Narcan on your side.
The death of a toddler from a fentanyl overdose.
7 times the lethal amount of fentanyl found in this 2-year-old's body.
A growing number of young children are being accidentally poisoned. Deaths from synthetic opioids like fentanyl in children under 5 jumped from 2015 to 2021.
Sadly, you may not know when fentanyl is around you. For instance, a child was at a park just trying to play on the playground and experienced an overdose, either from excess fentanyl on the park bench or in the mulch. Luckily, this child's life was saved with Narcan. However, a child was staying at an Airbnb, vacationing with their family, going through pots and pans, and came across excess fentanyl. This child experienced an overdose, and sadly, their life was unable to be saved. We are not drug users, and we do not condone the use of drugs. However, we do support saving lives. Overdoses have no socioeconomic background. They do not discriminate. So we present to you Narcase Saves. We're bringing hope to the overdose crisis. Now meet us. My name's Faith Moore. I'm the COO. I'm a senior, and I took E Squared because I wanted to have a social impact on my community.
I'm Christian Soderholm. I'm the CEO, and I'm passionate about our product because I know it can solve an issue that is relevant in our community.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm the CFO, and I took E Squared because I started my own business when I was 13.
Hi, I'm Alexa Strickland. I'm a junior, and I'm the CMO, and I love our product because I have been personally impacted by drug users in my own life.
Now for some financials. We are asking you for $450,000 in return of 20% ownership of our company. What does your money do? All that money is going to allow us to pay for all our startup expenses and get our business going.
Some of you might be wondering, What is Narcan? Narcan is a brand of naloxone, a medication that reverses the effects of an opioid overdose.
When you're experiencing an overdose, the receptors in your brain become blocked by opioids, causing you to stop breathing. Narcan unblocks these receptors and allows you to breathe again. Let me emphasize this. If you do not have opioids in your system, Narcan will not affect you. However, if you do have opioids in your system, it will only show signs of withdrawal. Narcan is similar to these safety items on the table. You do not want to be in a situation where you have to use them, but you have them just in case. Our product is Narcase. Narcase allows you to carry Narcan on you at all times. Actually, in the audience, we have Captain Tim Chilton and Kathy Hatter from the health department carrying our product on them right now.
Throughout this process, we've had a number of prototypes working with people in our school system, manufacturers in our community, and in neighboring communities. We originally planned to base our product after this, an AirPod case, something that hundreds of teenagers carry with them every single day. As you can see with Faith passing out some of our cases, Narcan fits safely and securely into our case so you can carry it with you at all times. As we continue with our startup period, we'll continue to perfect our case.
We split our potential customers into 3 groups: universities, online orders through our website, and retail. Now let's take a closer look into these.
So these are all the colleges that we've worked with throughout this process, talking to either the president, vice president, or dean of students, and they have shown great interest in supplying our product to their students one-on-one.
Anyone can purchase Narcase off of our website. Through our research, we have concluded that 15 to 24-year-olds are more susceptible to being exposed to opioids, therefore are our target market. My favorite part about the website is the addiction resources and hotlines, so when you're seeking help, you don't have to look any further. There's also a Narcan locator. When you type in your zip code, it shows you where Narcan is readily available near you. There's also a discount code through the website, GoodRx, so when you can't get Narcan for free, you can get it for a lower price. There's also a slot for you to sign up for Narcan training now that our COO, Faith Moore, is a certified Narcan trainer. I work at Dick's Sporting Goods, so I have a personal connection. We have met with the district manager, and he has expressed great interest in having Narcase up at the registers on a clip strip, a small but highly visible way to display product. And now that Narcan is becoming over-the-counter, we believe the next most logical step is to have it up at the registers in stores such as CVS. So when you're picking up your Narcan, you can get your Narcase to keep it by your side.
So, for our start to finish, our product concept will be directly sent to Apply Rapid Technologies in Fredericksburg to be made. In manufacturing, it'll only cost 55 cents for our case to be produced, and the shipping will go directly to our consumers. Our customers will include people out of the retail stores, through our website, and with the colleges that we've partnered with. We are going to be getting feedback that we are spreading awareness and saving lives.
Now, as you see, our competitors are big, clunky items teenagers like us wouldn't want to carry around. What are you going to do? Put Narcan in your back pocket every morning? That's just so unrealistic. And as you see, the big emergency bag you get from health departments or police stations are too big to carry around on your side. As you see, Faith is fumbling around trying to get to her Narcan. And in situations like an overdose, every second matters. That's why our case is the best way to carry Narcan, because of its lobster claw. You can keep it on your person, your book bag, or on your keychain, so it is by your side.
So let's talk about location. Throughout this process and throughout COVID-19, I'm sure we have all experienced working from home. We as a team have definitely seen the benefits of that, and because of that, we'll be working out of one of our members' homes during our startup period. Moving into year 1, we'll move into a professional office space, and year 5 and beyond, we plan to expand throughout the United States to better educate our society.
How will we expand? In year 1, we have 9 agreements with colleges that have shown great interest in our product to give to their students one-on-one on their campuses, as well as aiming to sell to all 15 through 24-year-olds, which is roughly 30 million people in the U.S., but we plan to capture 5% of that, which is 0.5% of that, which is 196,000 in our first year sales.
In addition to our financial expansion, we also plan to add 2 executives yearly to help with the growth of our company. This is our style guide that we made in collaboration with Tony Rozwadowski. All of our colors have meaning. Purple stands for addiction awareness.
Green stands for growth and overcoming.
And pink stands for nurturing and passion. For our ROI, our first year profits can seem a bit extreme, but as we have mentioned previously, that is because we are partnering with 9 universities who have shown great interest in our product to give to their students on their campuses one-to-one, as well as aiming to sell to all 15 through 24-year-olds on our website in our first year.
And then in year 2, with those 9 colleges, we are only supplying Narcase for their upcoming freshmen. And then throughout the years, we'll add 1 to 2 universities and 1 to 2 retail stores, as well as advertising to sell on our website, which we'll advertise for on our social medias. With little effort and no money, this video, made by TikTok influencer and fellow classmate Maya Torres, has received over 500,000 views and over 700 comments of supporters. This has caused our account to go viral and gain supporters and opportunities for sales.
Here are some examples of our comments from our TikTok page. Not only are we getting comments on our Narcase accounts, but also our personal accounts with nothing but support, saying, "Where can we buy this? Is this for sale? Don't stop pursuing your project," and so many more, as you can see on the screen.
So let's talk about social good. We will be allocating 5% of our yearly profits to education and awareness campaigns. In addition to this, we also plan to add 5 college liaisons at each of the colleges we are working alongside to better educate people on campus.
When you see our logo, we want you to see a brand that's putting human back in humane. Everyone deserves to live.
As well as spreading awareness on the rising opioid crisis.
At the end of the day, the opioid overdose crisis is not just affecting those suffering from addiction. It is affecting people our age, people younger, and people older. We know that with the help of Narcase Saves, we can solve this issue. Thank you.
That concludes our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions.
Good morning, and congratulations on getting to this point. The first thing I just want to say is thank you for the depth and passion that you brought to your presentation today. I thought you guys did a nice job. My question is around the opioid epidemic in this country. So what you've developed or proposed is an accessory, right, for a medical grade sort of resource or tool. What do you say to individuals who view this as a very polarizing topic in this country that you're trying to monetize off the back of an opioid epidemic?
Truthfully, we're not just trying to monetize this. We are passionate about this issue, and we are here to solve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for a great presentation and for addressing a real community need. I think it's a great product, but I'm concerned about your ability to meet your projected market because it seems to be something that could be easily replicated just by slightly modifying it, and then someone can get another patent. How do you plan to protect your
Thank you for that
market?
question. By the time someone else tries to come out with another case, we will already reach our goal with sales. And also, ultimately, we want to save more lives. If someone comes out with another case, that's a good thing because more lives will be saved.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Your passion is obvious and it's infectious. I'm wondering about the price point on your product, and it's not just obviously the cost of the case, but it's the actual drug within the case. What are you projecting on a per unit? How much are you allocating for the actual cost of the drug?
For the drug, like Narcan? So, at least in the state of Virginia, Narcan you can get from the health department or police station is free. But we also have a discount code through the website GoodRx that for the states you can't get it for free, you can have it for a lower price.
And our case does not include Narcan. We do not have Narcan when you buy our case, but we do provide resources, as Alexa mentioned, on where to get Narcan.
Okay, thank you. That explains it.
Yes.
Thank you for a great presentation. I just want to say you all look awesome from the earrings down to the shoes. I really appreciate the detail. And no earrings there, but you look pretty sharp. So anyway, the way you all project and the way you all speak in front of an audience is amazing to me. So I really appreciate that for the presentation. My question is there any chance that I could buy the case with the Narcan in it? Because convenience to me is my goal. I want to have the full thing and be ready to save somebody's life.
Thank you so much. So now that Narcan is becoming over the counter, we do hope to possibly sell Narcan with our case. But we're going to wait until it becomes more readily available over the counter to do so. Thank you.
With it becoming over the counter, the laws in place currently for becoming a Narcan distributor are kind of up in the air. So as that stabilizes a little bit, we'll look into it a little bit more. Thank you.
Good job on your presentation, and really like the effort to tackle a real challenging problem. Digging into your numbers a little bit, I was looking at the breakdown of your cost per unit, and I was trying to understand, you notate in your presentation, a cost per unit on the direct-to-consumer method as well as the retail method of being similar or exact same price, but then your bulk is actually higher, and usually you would see that in reverse. So help me understand why your cost per unit was higher on the bulk sales instead of the direct consumer sales.
So the reason that our cost is higher with our bulk sale is because for the colleges that we'd be partnering with, we were going to do customization for our cases to have the college logo that you are attending on your NARCase to show, hey, we go to this school and we also support NARCase in saving lives.
An aspect where we can look into with that, thank you for bringing it up, is if they don't want to pay that extra, then we can definitely look into that and work alongside those colleges and just give them the normal case.
We want our students, or we want students to be excited about wearing this case. Right. So if they want their college logo on the case, we think that would be a great idea.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
In looking at your first year sales, they're the highest, and to get the product made, you've gone to Fredericksburg and you've got a company over there making it. I think that's really good, but how are you going to get that many units out and sold in that short a time?
So we are partnering with those colleges, and we're going to talk to them one-on-one and see like how many exact they would like, and we can talk with the company down in Fredericksburg and see how it will be made, because as you saw, we made prototypes ourselves, so we can get them all done and to those colleges.
The manufacturer as well also that we have talked to has 4 other like partnerships that he works with, so we would be able to mass produce through those 4 as well.
So you are truly made in America?
Yeah. Yes, we were.
Okay.
I have another numbers question for you. When going back to, you had put in there your presentation about what your cost retail direct consumer was going to be. You also put your wholesale costs sitting at about $5, but there was no mention as far as the, what the recommended what retail sales price was going to be to the retailers that you sell that to, like a CVS or Dick's. How are you going to work with them to protect your direct consumer sales line?
So I think going forward, to be honest with you, a lot of the groups we're working with have shown a lot of passion and see the issues. I mean, when we went to Dick's, Alexa having this connection, the district manager we were talking to actually talked about how he has had some overdoses in one of his stores locally. Working alongside them, I think it's just that communication and realizing that this is an issue, and just working to better our community. So I think it's just that sense of people doing the right thing.
So I appreciate the fact that you all know that there's a licensing fee to add the logos from the college, the universities, because that was going to be one of the questions I had until I realized, oh yeah, they have to pay a fee to add that logo. It's not like your logo has a fee, but the colleges do. So I appreciate the question and that you all clarified that as well. I didn't see anything about the packaging for the item. I see that you all presented a wonderful display unit, and that's very important. But are you going to encase it in plastic? Are you going to just hang it on there and people can touch it? What is your idea for packaging?
That's actually a great thought we haven't looked into. I'd be happy to take any consideration you have. Do you think packaging would be a good idea?
I think it would, so people don't touch it and things like that. It would
Yeah.
be an additional cost, but I appreciate your answer.
Okay, thank you so much.
And obviously a clear packaging so they can see the product. A little expansion, if I may ask you, on your connections with the universities. Is it your plan that the students are going to end up paying, or is this something where the universities are going to foot the bill and actually give them to the students? When you talk to them, what kind of feedback do you get?
So we talked to them. They said that they would be interested in having, like, when at the beginning of the year they get, like, their computers in from their school, and we would in orientation, they would, so the colleges themselves would buy it and then hand out to their students, because they are so passionate about having Narcan and, like, saving lives in their college campus. Thank you, if that answered your question.
Did you say beanie year at the beginning? I thought I heard you say beanie year. I went to Penn State and we had to wear beanies. So, so I did attend a beanie year. I am dating myself.
Yeah. Okay. I'm reading the letter in here from Dixon. I thought that the district manager said that he would recommend going to a drugstore or some other place where Narcan is being sold. But then I thought I heard from you that it is, you got support for it. I'm just a little confused.
Yes,
One minute.
We did get support for it, but he came up with the idea of drugstores. And then we thought, wow, that would be a great idea. But we did also get support about having it on clip strips. That's where we got the idea of even having it on clip strips. Because if you've seen at Dick's, there are clip strips for different small items, and he thought that would be a great idea where to put our product.
Great, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you.
One more quick question.
Wondering if you all could just clarify for me a little bit around the business plan. It at times felt a little two-pronged in terms of what you were pitching, the accessory and then an education component. Can you talk a little bit about the education component and what that consists of?
So on our case, we have a QR code, and when you scan it, it takes you to our website, which we will be updating constantly of there's news articles on issues happening currently. There's, as Alexa was saying, different things to sign up for, trainings. It's just all around spreading awareness and educating. That's our whole goal with our company. It's not just a case. We also want to spread awareness on this issue because so many people are uneducated on this. And our main goal is just to educate.
Thank you, Narcase Saves.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next team will go at 10:50, and that is Lux Find. 10:50, Lux Find.
Great job.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lux Find.
Good morning.
15 minutes, 2-minute warning, and their questions will follow. You may begin when ready.
My mommy's in the basement, and I need emergency, and I need hello.
Imagine yourself experiencing a medical emergency, and now you're waiting for first responders to arrive at your location. The countdown starts now.
My name is Stefano Harrison, and I am the CFO.
My name is Bennett Sutherland, and I'm the CEO.
Jay Gonzalez, CTO.
And my name is Alexandra De Leon, and I am CEO, and we
are Lux Find. During an emergency, time is crucial, whether it's inaccurate GPS direction, unmarked homes, or something as simple as not enough response units. Every second counts. You, me, and any other 911 caller should not have to worry about the possibility that a first responder either can't find your house or gets lost during an emergency. Even a 5-minute delay in response time can increase mortality rates by over 46%. So, what's the fix? Our product, the Lux Light, is a red strobing beacon light that can be mounted on a mailbox or a house, whichever the user desires. We've created the Lux Light to assist first responders by pinpointing the exact location of an emergency. When creating Lux Find,
1 minute. Brain cells begin to die, but survival is possible.
When creating Lux Find, we had 3 goals in mind. Our first was to reduce response time for first responders. Our second was to integrate our technology with personal emergency alert system companies, or PEAS companies, in effort to reduce mortality rates. And our third goal is we believe that the Lux Light can become a required amenity on households, such as fire extinguishers, fire alarms, or carbon monoxide detectors.
Our proposal. LuxFind is asking investors for $325,000 in exchange for 10% of our company. The investors are projected to get 100% of their investment back by year 2 and 775% of their initial investment back by the end of year 5.
So we have conducted a survey for first responders here in Culpeper County, and it turns out that 63% of those first responders receive 1 to 4 non-emergency calls weekly. 25% receive 5 to 9, and 12% receive 10 or more. In the United States of America, there are 36 million falls each year. That is 17% of all 911 calls. This map shows the designated locations for deputies. So each deputy has a designated location. So let's say, for example, a deputy in Stevensburg needs help, but the only help he can get is a deputy from Salem. It will take a while for the Salem first responder to arrive in Stevensburg. And now you can only imagine that.
Here we have some statements from some important pillars of our community. Chris Settle, Chief of Police, stated the light would be especially beneficial in rural areas where they lack street lights. Thomas Dawson, Emergency Service Coordinator, I believe he's actually in the audience somewhere. Maybe? All right. I would work 3 jobs to put this light on every mailbox in Culpeper County.
As for our marketing promotion, during year 1, we do plan to promote through various social media such as Instagram and TikTok for the younger
3 minutes. Serious brain damage is likely.
For younger adults, and Facebook for maybe the aging population. We plan to heavily promote through the personal emergency alert system companies such as Life Alert and My Notify, because they do already have an existing customer base, and we hope to capture that. Individuals, that is through social media and just word of mouth, getting our brand out into the community. And first responders, because if they do not know what our product is or what to look for, they don't know what to look for, and they can't save lives. We will use Activate Health as our marketing firm. Currently, they promote healthcare equipment, and they are one of the largest healthcare marketing firms in the United States. As for our product itself, it does have 2 models. This is our smaller Lux Light model. It's about 3 by 3 inches, so very concealable. You can see some of the features up here: waterproof and durable, integrated solar panels on the top for eco-friendly charging, long battery life, and visible up to 700 meters or nearly half a mile, and that's just on the mailbox. It does have a strobing feature, 60 flashes per minute, so very hard to miss. As for pricing, $20 wholesale value, so that's we will sell to Life Alert for that amount, $20, and $49 for individual consumers, and it will be available for purchase on our website and through retail stores such as Home Depot and Lowe's. As for our competition, the Lux Light is the only product of its kind on the market currently. As you can see, we do have some indirect competitors such as Visiplex and Silent Beacon. Visiplex in particular focuses on emergency systems, maybe inside office buildings, warning employees that there may be a fire, and then Silent Beacon focuses on emergencies maybe outside of the home. As you can see, they do not have the same features or as many features as our light, and the price is significantly lower.
So what makes this light work is a PCB, or printed circuit board chip, which gives it access directly to your cell phone via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular data. This chip is used in the industry in light control, health systems, multiple different electronics, smart home systems, anything to do with remote activation. And what this chip does exactly in the light, as I stated previously, gives it direct Wi-Fi and Bluetooth cellular connection. It gives it a long-distance connection, so as long as you have cellular service on your phone, you'll be able to access its features. It also has a low power source management, so even if this light is not fully charged, you are still able to access all of its features.
I would like to point everybody's attention to the screens to your right, where you will see a point of view of what it may look like to a first responder coming down a hill. As you can see, the light is already able to be seen from very far away, and this is what the first responders will be looking for. It's very beneficial because they don't need to stick their flashlight out the window as they're driving by, hoping to find numbers that might not be there. They can just see our strobing beacon light strobing beacon light and just race towards the place of emergency in a short amount of time.
Past 6 minutes. The national response time for first responders is 5 minutes. EMS should have been here, but they're not.
Moving on to our house light, it does have the same features as our mailbox light with the waterproof capabilities and integrated solar panels, except the main difference is it is double the size and double the illumination power. So the mailbox light is visible up to 700 meters. This is visible up to nearly a mile away, or 1,500 meters. That's very beneficial maybe in rural communities where long back roads where first responders have the hardest job. As for pricing, it is $40 wholesale to the Life Alert and My Notify companies, and $79 for individual consumers. If I will point your attention again to the TVs, this is a street view that the mailbox, or the house light will look like to a first responder. I will like to point out that this is a prototype, so our real house light will be much more visible, but as you can see, it's very hard to miss.
Here is a chart that demonstrates the cost to produce each light. You may be skeptical on why the house light costs so much more than the mailbox light. That is because it is twice the size and illuminates twice as much. When it comes to packaging, our manufacturers over at BridgeLux cover that cost.
So as for the LuxFind app, it would be enabled with the Lux Light. Either it's installed on top of your mailbox or on your house. As a new user, you would have to enter your username and password just like any ordinary app. Once at the app's home screen, there are 3 main options. The first option is to activate the light. The second option is to call 911 or emergency services. A notification will appear if you want to hit accept or decline because you might have hit that option on accident. The third option is to group message. This is where your friends, family, and neighbors come to group text. It is password protected and it is user friendly for all ages. And it is compatible with your P's devices.
I would also like to add that red button with the exclamation mark up there is our use all button. So if you are in a severe emergency situation and you just need to activate all of these, send a group message out, immediately alert first responders, as well as activating the light, that is what that button is used for. Also right here, this past emergencies option, if someone in your circle and your group is having an emergency that's medical related, you can actually go to their history and see whether that be they've had a history with respiratory issues, cardiovascular issues, so you can kind of get more of an idea of what exactly might be happening with them.
For our demographic and expected customers during year 1, we will, as previously stated, heavily market towards the P's companies, Life Alert and My Notify. Homeowners across the United States, there are approximately 215 million homeowners, and rural communities, because that is where first responders have the hardest job currently. Expected year 1 users, we plan to capture 54,000 year 1 users. We got that number from the 215 million homeowners across the United States, and we are targeting 0.025% of that number during year 1. So we do have plenty of room for growth, and we are trying to be modest with our numbers because we are a new company. 11,000 of that 54 is the P's companies. Between Life Alert and My Notify, there are 110,000 current users, and we hope to capture 10% of that. And the other 43,000 is people in our community or across the United States. Future demographics that we plan to capture are HOAs, get these in high-level communities. Universities, there are over 4,000 nationwide, and you can imagine all the scenarios and dorm rooms that these can be used for. Hotels, apartments, high-populated cities, and public schools. Imagine, in today's world, a drug overdose.
10 minutes. Many brain cells have died. Survival is almost impossible. We haven't even made it through our presentation. And this just shows the severity of what first responders face on a daily basis.
As I was saying, in public schools, imagine in today's world if there's a drug overdose or a school shooting, if the teacher can flip on a light and the first responder knows exactly which room to go to save that child's life.
projected sales, LuxFine is expected to make over $2.3 million in gross profits, with our expenses being $395,000 and our earnings before taxes being over $1.9 million, with a one-year net profit of roughly $1.2 million.
For our social give back, since we want to get the Lux Light into communities as much as we can, starting in year 1, for every 50 lights we sell, we will be donating 1 light for free to first responders to distribute into these communities, and that number decreases by 10 lights each year. So year 2, every 40 lights, year 3, every 30, year 4, every 20, and by year 5, we hope that every 10 lights we sell, we can get 1 light for free donated and into our communities to assist our first responders. As you can see, we hope to donate over 15,000 lights or $190,000 in lights, and that number can only go up with how much product we sell. With manufacturing and distribution, we will be sourcing the most of our components of the light from outside of the United States just for cost purposes, except for the plastic, as you see up there, Virginia Plastics. That will be our mounting option, and that's obviously located right here in Virginia. But we will be manufactured in the United States at Bridge Lux, which is located in California, and that will help with ease of distribution because companies such as Life Alert are also located in California.
So when it comes to our future visions, we plan on always listening to feedback from our customer base, as well as improving technology as technology constantly improves. Different mounting options is one of these, whether that be brackets or hardware to install on a tree or a fence post, anywhere that first responders can see the light and better assess the setting of an emergency situation, as well as an audibility feature sometime in the future, as whether that be a chirping sound or an alarm, just something else to help first responders out. As well as becoming compatible with all P's devices, so going past My Notify and Life Alert.
And moving forward, we do plan to manufacture our own light, so if there is a problem with our suppliers, we will still be able to sell our lights and make our lights. And we do plan to, as we grow and make more money, lower the price of our product so people of all financial situations can utilize our product and explore insurance or Medicare purposes. So in conclusion, first responders have a hard enough job as it is, so help us ease the burden so they can focus on saving lives. Let us give you the security in knowing that help will find you. They'll see the light so you don't have to.
First, thank you all and congratulations on getting to this point in the competition. Fantastic presentation and use of props for general awareness. My question is around the cellular component for activation. So in rural communities, which seems to be sort of the target regions that you're looking at, it's a great idea. How do you address functionality if cell service and or Wi-Fi aren't available for those individuals?
Yes, so we do have a Bluetooth option, as well as we plan for the house light to have a hard wiring option too, directly to your house. So whether that be through a light switch or through a Bluetooth connection, this chip also gives access to an infrared signal receiver, so you can, just like a TV remote.
Great, thank you.
Great presentation and certainly a practical item that I would love to have in my own home. But you already have one here, so therefore it must not be too complicated to create, which means that perhaps there are low barriers to entry into producing something like this. How do you plan on achieving your ambitious goals of the product with, since it's so easy for some competitor to come into the market as well?
So currently these lights, obviously you said they are very easy to make, but they're just not being used for the purpose that we're trying to use them. Currently, these lights are being used on industrial or construction vehicles, so you can imagine how bright they do need to be, but nobody's using in the setting that we are trying to utilize them.
Thank you.
This is very impressive, and I thank you for your presentation. My late wife died of a wasting disease that started with she lost her mobility. Actually did fall and break her hip and spent 6 hours on the floor of our home before I came home and found her. From that day on, she had a Life Alert. But if she had had another incident like that, she would not have been able to get to a switch or a button to be able to trigger the light. Are you contemplating, or perhaps it's already here and I just didn't follow it, would there be a way that if you called 911 that they could trigger it, or that if you did your life alert and spoke to the operator who comes on the speaker, would they be able to trigger it from their locations?
Yes, so I'm glad you brought that up. We do plan on having a sort of signal or something that first responders, when they are in the area of the emergency, can activate it from their car, activate the light. I would also like to mention that being unable to activate it through your phone or remote, we do plan on having compatibility with smart home systems, so like Alexa, Siri, Google Home, voice activation. So if you do fall and you are unable to activate it, that is another option.
And can I say something else? I'm really sorry to hear that. That really, it's really touchy. It's really, heartful, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Great presentation. I'm really impressed, and I think it's definitely a need in the community. I think there's a lot of people that would benefit from this. Can you talk a little bit about the warranty period on the unit and how we would get replacement or things like that?
So we do offer a 3-year warranty on our device. That's if it is broken, not if someone steals it, that is not our fault. Unfortunately, that is a problem. But if it is broken in any way, we will replace it within 3 years. And I will like to add, it's kind of related to this question, that if there is a scenario where, unfortunately, a user passes away because of the light, or they blame it on the light, we have a no liability factor for our company. So once it exchanges hands and goes into the first responders' hands, we are not liable for any lawsuit.
Thank you.
Great job on your presentation and your business plan. The question I have is in your marketing strategy, which is pretty significant at going with the personal emergency assist systems, Ps as you were calling it. You're really looking at banking on being able to work out an arrangement with Life Alert or My Notify or other type of groups to really move your product. From looking at it from a business model standpoint, it's almost like you really need them more so than they would need your product. How do you look to build those relationships and show the necessity or the need to put this as an added-on feature with them?
So once our product eventually gets more and more exposure, sorry, we will be able to capture a percentage of their market, realizing how useful this is, and that it's not an unnecessary middleman. It is a wonderful thing. And once that happens, these companies will realize, and they should not have any problem with working forward with us.
And can I also add on, we all have the same goal, which is to help save lives. Life Alert, it's a fall detection. They want to help save lives, so do we. So, it makes their product look better.
You had a social give back of about 30,000 units when you looked at the overall 5 years. Did you have that in your cost, in your cost analysis, that you're going to be giving away about 5% of your product?
Yes, we did take into factor cost of what it would be to make these lights that we are giving away and the charitable funds that will be needed.
And the product coming from China, the supply chain issues, did you look at that at all?
Yes, so we do have multiple contingencies regarding sourcing what we need to make these lights. So different companies, different countries.
Very good, okay.
My next question is really around the design of the unit. Very functional. It's obviously that it works. But thinking about it from a larger audience, trying to find something could be especially on the house light, be more aesthetically pleasing. Have y'all given any thoughts around how you could still get the same level of view shed for the light, but having something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than to mount something like that on the side of your home?
We plan to have different mounting options for the light to make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing, and for the mailbox too. some people might not want a light on top, so we plan to offer mounting features for under the mailbox on the underside.
Yeah, sorry. I'd like to include how I touched on in our future plans, different mounting options, so different hardware, whether that be a tree, a fence post, somewhere where it's not visible to someone just coming in your driveway, but when that light is activated, it will be visible.
I'll ask a question, but I have an idea. What if you made something that went in my outdoor light and it becomes flashing red at some point instead of my white light, right? Okay, just think about it. Anyway, then it would be very aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so when you're thinking of distribution channels, what you mentioned, working with peas and stuff like that, but how are you going to get it? How am I going to buy it?
So we will ship from our manufacturer Briggs directly to the peas companies, such as Life Alert and My Notify, but we do have a warehouse here in Virginia that the light will be shipped from Bridgelux to us, and then we ship it to you. And the consumer does have to pay for shipping. That is not covered in the manufacturing cost.
Yeah, sorry. So we do, with shipping and handling, we do have an online option where you can order these lights, but we will as well be including them for sale in places like Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware stores. So,
thank you.
I'd like to start by saying I think it's kind of cute. So I don't have an aesthetic problem with it. Just following up again, and it has, I guess, to do with installation and maintenance. Am I understanding you're going to have a website that people could go get information or instructions on how to
Yes, sir.
how to set it up and operate it?
Also, within the app, you do have the function next to past emergencies, how to use the light. That is instructional videos and directions on how our light
1
operates.
minute.
Follow-up question, would you allow on that website to be individuals to put medical information in that could be only accessible by the EMS people? You talked about the EMS people getting it. Would that be how they'd get the information? We could download our medical situations into it?
Yes. Yes, so along with first responders, but also in the close contacts, you can put your previous medical information or anything that you're suffering from so they can have an idea of your situation.
I forgot to say how impressive it is that you interrupted the presentation with these, things. That it was very impressive, and I forgot to say that. So it
Thank you.
confused me at the
Thank
first
you.
one, but the second one I got it. Sorry.
I think all of the questions that I had have been taken up by asked by my colleagues. Thank you.
That's all the time we have. Thank you, judges. And thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to add, you asked yesterday if there was anything in the mailbox.
It's for me, isn't it?
Yes, we did. We did bring a gift for all of y'all, something to remember us by.
A little bit of mail.
I've been asking these kids for mail for weeks. Let me have. They brought us all mail. While they're passing out their mail, where's Mrs. Hoover and Mr. Corbin? Well, Mrs. Hoover, thank you, Pumpkin. Raise your hand high. I need all the teams to meet her and Mr. Corbin in the front while we're on this break so we can get group pictures. I want a picture of everyone, Mrs. Hoover, and both Evie and Cece as well. That includes those that were in the prelims, please. To everyone in the audience, we'll have, it could be 30 minutes or I can't really say how long, but we are going to show a video, I believe, about Career Partners history that we hope that you will enjoy, and we will be back as soon as we can.
Career Partners is a long-term project to unite the business community, the education community, and local government
The overall goal of Career Partners, I think, is to provide students in Culpeper County with many, many ways to succeed.
It was started really by Norma Dunwoody. Norma was the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. And in 1997, she realized lack of confidence in the business community for the quality of the students that were coming out of the system. And so she organized what was called an educational summit.
So the first thing that we started doing was taking the brainstorms from the steering committee and looking at different educational models. So the Career Academy model was something that we talked about, and we took a piece of the career academies and created our signature program, which was then named E Squared, which stands for Entrepreneurial Energy. On the first day of class, their teachers tell them all about what the course is going to be like, and the very first thing that happens is we do a random draw of who is going to be on the teams. And day 3, we take them to Verdun Adventure Bound, and they do team building. The kids will tell you at the end that that's probably their favorite day. They absolutely love it. Some of them are challenged to their absolute limits, as are the teachers and their coaches.
And they work through an incredible opportunity of developing a product and all that goes with that, a business plan, marketing plan.
So at the end of the semester, we have a prelims and a finals, and our judges pick one winner, and each winner of that winning team receives a $5,000 scholarship.
We started out with just a single focus. You know, we have roughly 2,000 students in the high school, and through our E-Square program reaching 75 or 80. And so we evolved then into the idea of mock interviews.
This centers around all of our juniors. Every student in our junior class participates in this through our economics and personal finance class. It takes place a whole unit lesson where our EPF teachers teach our students how to write a resume, a cover letter around a job that they would be qualified for now as a junior in high school. And then Career Partners sets up actual interviews where it takes hundreds, over 100, 150 volunteers that come into the schools to actually do a mock interview.
In the mock interview, which is a practice scenario, business leaders who are often CEOs of local companies have been so impressed they've said, here's my business card, come see me, I've got a job for you this summer.
And our students have come back and told us that it's been so real for them and so beneficial. Our interviewers tell us that they want to hire the kids on the spot, that they're so impressed at how prepared that they are.
Some of the soft skills that the kids learn are really crucial.
It's one of the greatest things we do because it touches every single student that goes through our school system. Another facet of Career Partners is our program, the Career Expo.
Career Explorations, that particular program and series of events really brings to the forefront career opportunities for students.
Anywhere from 45 to 60 businesses come on one day to meet with our 8th, 10th, and 12th graders to talk about what each business, the different jobs or careers that are at that business, what education a student might need.
I think the exposure to successful business people is of great value. Clearly, there's a strong program that already exists in the schools, but when you bring the real world into the school, that provides great opportunities.
They get to learn in a very deep dive, intimate setting about particular careers that could become available to them, not just here in the Culpeper region, but outside and beyond.
Last year, we started focusing on actual careers, and we had our first manufacturing day. That was a one-day event where we took interested students to manufacturing companies in the Culpeper area. We took them to Masco, Euro Composites, and other businesses, and this was a day where they got to spend in touring these businesses, they actually got to do practical hands-on applications and really learn about the specific business that they had.
It's just another one of the things that over the years, from the early years, we've grown the program.
I moved back to Culpeper in 2010, grew up here, left after high school, and when I had an opportunity to move back to town, I took full advantage of becoming active in the community. But truly, my journey started with Karen and my grandfather, Bob Jebson, who was one of the original founders of Career Partners.
Rocky Castro grew up in Culpeper. He has a strong background in technology, and he's what we call a maker. So from him, we, along with our instructional technology resource teachers, we evolved into one of our other programs, which is our Maker Energy Fair. This is a day-long event, which we love to plan over the course of a year. This event is an indoor-outdoor event that is now drawing a little over 3,000 participants, young and old.
Definitely the Maker Energy Fair is a big highlight, because I feel like at that point you reach a lot of the parents and the families that maybe don't know or have heard of Career Partners, but they really don't know what it is.
There's an opportunity to network, to learn, but more importantly, it exposes those that participate to maybe new concepts and innovation and creativity that they would not have previously been exposed to.
Maker Energy is all about going in, using your creativity skills, and coming out with either have had an experience or actually making something and taking it with you.
There was another population of the school system that we wanted to reach, and that's fifth graders.
That's a point in which, the students can really absorb, and it's a pivotal moment in their school careers to start really making pathway decisions.
And a lot of people may say it's too young, but they're honestly about to go into middle school. So at that time, your wheels start turning on, what am I going to be when I grow up? So that starts that engagement.
The STEM program, we started up just a few years ago now in collaboration with Culpeper County Airport.
Our STEM program really opens the door to allow students coming through that program to learn about perhaps technologies in STEM-related concepts that they may not have had interest in previously or exposure to.
Every fifth grader gets to go out to the airport, and they go through the STEM program at the Airfest. And that just jumpstarts them on deciding on, what careers out there, what things are available here in Culpeper.
We take them out in school buses, and they spend several hours exploring just a wide variety of applications of science, technology, engineering, and math.
A subcommittee of the Airfest committee puts together hands-on STEM activities in different hangars at the airport, and the students get to go for a morning or an afternoon, and then they also have activities that they get to bring back and do in their classrooms.
We've really turned this into a unique way to engage the students. I'd say as far as the future goes for Career Partners, I really would hope that we continue to lead the path as being the role model in providing educational programs similar to what we do.
What I want to see is that the board is kept dynamic and continues to change and bring on new people, younger people, different talents, and maintain that high ratio of business people on the board.
We want to be an innovative leader and a role model for other communities around us.
I hope that the community will continue to see the value and look for ways to show the business community the continued value.
We need to obviously continue with the working relationships, or the relationships we have with the school administration and school system.
The possibilities are endless. When you got Rocky Castro involved and Marty Bywater involved, we can do anything. Randy, Richards Lutz, it's going to happen, I'm telling you.
That's our legacy, to work together, to be partners, and it will keep this goal going. This synergy will keep going.
Okay, welcome back to those that you were here before. I am Sandy Boone. I'm part of the leadership team for E Squared, representing part of the business community. What an exciting morning it has been. The scores have been tabulated, and we will shortly share with you who this year's winner is. But one of the questions that we get often is, everybody that has participated in this program knows the time and the effort that the students put in to this semester making this program the success that it is. And we often get asked, how do we recognize those students? So one of the ways that we recognize them is they can become members of the E2 Honor Society. This society was established to recognize any participant on any of the teams. These teams could have presented today, or they could have presented at prelims. The team must have had 4 of the judges say that yes, they would invest in their company. In addition, the participant must receive an A in the E Squared class. These students will be recognized at their high school graduation by wearing a green E Squared honor cord, as well as having their name in the graduation program. This cord is well-deserved and in a way to recognize any participant that meets those qualifications. So let's give all of the students that have participated one more big round of applause. All right, I'm going to pause for a short video.
Jeb, Eastern View class of 2013.
I'm Tiffany, CCHS class of 2008.
I'm Nikki, CCH class of 2002.
And I'm Roki, CCHS class of 1995. In 1997, leaders of local government, business, and the school system hosted an educational summit to address concern that Culpeper High School graduates were not ready for the workplace. The outcome of this summit was the formation of the educational nonprofit known today as Career Partners. Career Partners' flagship program, Entrepreneurial Energy, or E Squared, the reason why we're all here today, was launched in 2008. Since its inception, it has awarded high school entrepreneurs with over $240,000 in educational scholarships.
One of the founding members of the organization and Career Partners' first president was Bob Jepson, known to the 4 of us as Grandpa Kid. Bob was a successful businessman and community leader in Culpeper County from 1972 until his passing in 2013. Bob's wisdom, generosity, and tireless commitment to serving his community was in no small part responsible for the 20 years Career Partners has successfully served the students of Culpeper.
Every year, E Squared has presented the Coaches Award to those participating students who exhibit exceptional energy and commitment to their respective team projects and exemplify the principles of teamwork, honesty, integrity, leadership, perseverance, and confidence. In addition to these qualities, Bob was a visionary who always approached a challenge or opportunity with these lasting words: "How can I help?" He loved his family, he loved his community, and he loved giving.
We are proud and excited to announce that this prestigious recognition will continue to be made in honor and memory of Bob Jepson, our grandfather, who personified these qualities and principles to the benefit and success of Career Partners and E Squared. We congratulate all recipients and hope that you will help us carry his legacy forward. And now, Sandy Boone will announce the results.
Presented to students. It's what was formerly known as the Coaches Award. But the coaches, these are students that they feel they're exceptional and that they're very likely to succeed in the business world. And just like the Honor Society, these students also must receive an A in the course. These students have the option of selecting an iPad or an $800 scholarship. I like Roki, I'm good reading. As I read the names and read you a little bit about why these coaches nominated these students, I would like the students to come forward and stand up here with me. I would also like you to hold your applause to the end. First, we have Faith Moore. Faith's coaches stated that she has a passion for their product and her tireless efforts to identify potential customers and to create an advocacy campaign around opioid overdose helped to shape the business plan. The spark of the business idea is a critical moment, and Faith brought that spark and then helped build it into a flame. She has been part of an exceptional team that has demonstrated what E2 is all about: collaboration and encouragement to bring a great idea alive. Next, we have Bennett Sutherland. As Bennett's walking up, Bennett has been a standout since day one. When the team was having a hard time finding their rhythm, Bennett stepped up as a leader, calm but firm. He became the driving force to get to the finish line. Elijah Harrington. Eli has been a consistent and strong presence for Razor. He is a true team player, and he has a firm understanding of financials. He was able to help other teams as well, and he also is quite funny. Cassidy Heflin. Her initiative and natural ability to lead her small team is why she deserves the Coaches Award. She repeatedly went above and beyond to advance the progress of the business plan and orchestrated the presentation. Morgan Butler. Seeing the growth in Morgan throughout this process is what this class is about. She's a worker and was always willing to step up, take on more responsibilities, and support her team. She was a sounding board who was able to connect everyone's views and opinions, reeling the team in when they were not all on the same page. She went above and beyond for her team and always found a solution to the challenges they faced. Jack Fleming. There is not enough time to give Jack all the accolades that he is so deserving of. He's the epitome of the saying, cream of the crop. There were many late nights, Google chats, and creative ideas he had this semester. We love his tenacity, hyper-focus, and determination to be successful. He is not only an exceptional student, but an exceptional human being. Elise Derby. Elise, known by her friends as Law, is not only smart and capable, but shows confidence in her abilities to accomplish her goals. She has excelled in preliminaries when questioned by the judges. She is unafraid to speak her mind, and often does. Rosario R.J. Urube. That should be easy for me with Kathy being his mom. RJ showed instructive leadership skills in directing his teammates through the product development process. His contact with outside resources was professional and earned him unsolicited compliments from those he spoke to. RJ has a bright future, proven by his drive and demeanor. Bryce Collette. Bryce was hands-on since the beginning of the process. He stepped up in numerous ways, willing to do the heavy lifting for his team. He took on the leadership role and truly developed through the process. Michaela Woodward. Michaela has demonstrated immense leadership and outstanding entrepreneurial skills throughout the past semester. She led and piloted her team through an E2 idea change later in the marketing plan with great success. Michaela was the head of her team and often took task and ownership of her teammates. We strongly believe Michaela will be successful in her future endeavors due to her ability to take ownership of a product and business acuity. She was a pleasure to work with and inspiring to watch. Please join me in giving this great group of kids outstanding leadership a big round of applause. Congratulations to each one of you. turn it over to Roki.
Congratulations. You guys can be seated now. Thank you. All right, so the moment we've all been waiting for. All right, so before I open this envelope, we determine who the winners are. Let's give another round of applause and congratulations to all of our teams and all of the E-Squared participants. Really, really proud of all of you guys. In this envelope, which Randy's used for 15 years, identified by our original E-Squared logo, and one of our founders has said how thrifty she is, and I see it firsthand every year. We have our winner. So each student on the winning team will receive a $10,000 scholarship. So may I get a drum roll? All right, 2023 E-Squared winner is LuxFind. Congratulations.
Guess what? You've got mail. And how about
Can we get our coaches up here as well? Karen Carroll and Reagan Ketterer.
and Mrs. Lane and Mrs. Uribe, please. And Dr. Soderholm. Would anyone like to say anything?
Hi, so I would just like to say, this is unbelievable. I'd just like to say thank you for everybody who made this possible. That includes our wonderful coaches, Miss Lane, Mr. Uribe, Dr. Soderholm, everyone from the CC family. This is just an amazing experience, and I just thank everybody so much.
I don't even know where to start. I just like to thank my teachers and my coaches and my teammates for being here for these past couple months. They've been such an amazing experience, and just thank you, everyone.
I would like to say thank you to everybody that puts this on, because I think this is the most beneficial class that you can take in high school, even though it's the most stressful every single day. I just want to say thank you to my teammates, because we've had couple long days, long nights, but we got through it. Thank you to Karen and Reagan, my coaches, because without them we can't be here, and especially Miss Uribe and Miss Lane, because they help us with anything that we ever need. So thank you.
This is unbelievable. I'm literally speechless, but I want to thank Miss Lane and Mr. Uribe, Karen and Reagan, who at first we were on a rough road, not gonna lie. But this is all worth it. I mean, I love this class. I hate it, but I love it. It's a love and hate relationship. It's so stressful. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, $10K in the bag. So thank you to everyone who supported us. All the first responders we talked to, I mean, they were such an amazing help. We couldn't have done it with them. We can't do anything without the first responders, first of all. So I want to thank them, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations to you all, because every student really does truly win with E-Squared, as you can hear from how they talk about their class. But we appreciate you all for being here today, and guess what? We'll be back for year 16 before you know it. Take care.